Hey girl, today is Sunday, July 13th. It is my last day in Jamaica. I leave tomorrow morning to head back to San Diego. And while I am sad to go, I'm also ready to get back to my normal routine of, my glow up, my self care, and just really spending time with myself. I have had an experience here for this trip here in Jamaica. It's been a roller coaster of events and emotions that has led me to want to discuss today's topic, which we are definitely about to get into. I have quite a bit to go over. But before we get into that, hi, I'm Elisha Maria. Welcome to 40 Something and Nothing, a podcast for women in their 40s, just trying to navigate this thing called life so that we can gracefully go into our 50s as our full goddess selves, right? And if this is your first time here, I highly recommend that you go back and listen to the previous episodes. But if you just feel more comfortable vibing out with me right now for this one, you are more than welcome. Thank you for joining me. Let's just get into it. Today, we will be discussing how to increase your tolerance, okay? Increasing your tolerance and how important it is to remain tolerant sometimes, depending on the situation, of course. But an incident happened on Friday night that at first I was feeling like I wouldn't discuss, but I think I am, because Friday night is what has caused me to want to discuss today's topic, okay? And just being 100% transparent and authentic with you, my girl, okay? Friday was rough. It started off good, and by the end of the night, or close to the end of the night, my husband decides to have this bright idea of having a date of going to the movies, right? So we are here in Portmore. We go to the local theater, which is Sunshine Plaza, here in this little shopping center called Sovereign in Portmore. And we go to see Superman. Now, the first half of the movie, I will admit, it was a little boring. But my thing is if we are in a long distance marriage and we are not able to visit each other as often as we would like, the least you could do is stay awake during our date. You know what I'm saying? And I know he gets busy and he's tired. And like I said, the first half of the movie was absolutely boring, I must admit. But I stayed awake. I would still stay awake because it's our date, right? And we don't get many of them because we're in a long distance marriage. So within about 30 minutes of the movie, I look over at him and he's asleep. And I'm like, great. I gently tap him and I say, hey, you're sleeping. Can you wake up? And then he could tell, just because he knows me very well, he could tell that I had an attitude about it. I didn't mean to give an attitude about it because honestly, he hadn't done anything wrong. I just wanted him to wake up. I just wanted him to be a part of a date that you invited me to and asked me on. So how are you now falling asleep? Stay awake, sir. Okay, please and thank you. But anyways, he asked me, he says, well, why do you have an attitude? And I'm like, babe, you're falling asleep. You fell asleep. You're asleep and I'm here awake and this is our date. Wake up. What? And so he can feel my energy. I can feel his energy. And it's off, I wouldn't say that the date was ruined, but there was a moment there where we were just both okay, you've blown my moment, type of vibe. And so he ends up waking up. We finish the movie with both of us awake, thankfully. But that energy still kind of carried and lingered with us, even while we were in the car driving home. And at first I was just dealing with it. Like, okay, we're silent. We're not really talking to each other. And then he mentions how, the way that I tapped him. I'm like, what are you talking about? I literally just said like, hey, wake up, da da da. And no, he wanted to continue going on with it about like, he was just a little tired. The first half of the movie was boring. I didn't have to catch an attitude or be upset with him. He didn't mean to fall asleep. And I immediately, because I have zero tolerance, I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to keep talking about this. Let me out the car. Just let me out. Like, I can walk home from here. It's not that far from where we are. Let me out. So he goes and turns the corner, and he's turning the corner very, very slowly. So I took that as my opportunity to exit the vehicle. Why? Girl, I have no idea, but I just I don't like drama. I don't deal well with conflict or feeling like I have to be, confrontational or on the defense, or I don't like any of that. So I just was like, the best thing that I can do right now is exit this vehicle and allow you to go ahead and drive home by yourself. I can walk, get some fresh air, and maybe clear my head before I get to the door. So, as I mentioned, he turns the corner and the car is going very slow. I took that as my opportunity to hop out. Girl, my foot scraped that concrete so hard. Like all the skin on the side of my foot was ripping and tearing. And so he like pulled my arm to like pull me back into the car. And then the wind kind of shut the door. And then he starts driving faster. He's like, why would you do that? Like now he's yelling. Now he's shouting. And then we get home and my foot is like completely torn up and bleeding. And he had to patch it up and put some bandages on it and everything. And then he's like, babe, why do you do this? He's like, anytime that we have, it could be a minor disagreement or argument, and you are so quick to want to run away. Like you're done with me, you're done with the marriage, you gotta go, you gotta hop out of a moving car. Why are you like this? Why can't we talk about things and just get through them? And I think he's right. I do that a lot, not with just love, but with anything in my life. I mentioned in the previous episode that I am naturally the type of person that will start things and never finish them. And I don't know why I'm like that. I'm just like, if I start something and it gets too tough or too hard, or I'm not seeing the expected results, or it could be a host of things, or it could be nothing at all. Once my instinct says time to go, I will jump from a moving car and scrape up my foot just to go. And I'm laughing at it now, but it's not funny. Like, I don't want to up and jump ship every time there is a slight inconvenience. And so that led me to start thinking about how, as me trying to tap into my goddess energy and authentically show up every single day as the higher version of myself that I know that I'm designed to be, I have to learn how to increase my tolerance for certain things and how to not jump ship, man overboard at the slightest inconvenience. So that leads me to our topic today. How do we do that? How do we increase our tolerance? How do we stay the course when things around us are not feeling or looking like how we want them to look? Like I said, again, my husband is absolutely right. It could be the slightest argument, and I am immediately like, well, there's a door. If you want to be done, we could just be done. He's like, what are you talking about? No, we're not done. We're married, and we're going to have disagreements, and we need to work through them. So I took some time to myself that night and really started to dig into my personal life and how I see things in terms of why I am quick to quit, right? And how can I learn to increase my tolerance? So one thing that I know for a fact that I'm doing is sticking with my podcast episodes, because again, if I'm quick to start something and never finish, The podcast is the tangible thing. It's the thing that I know that I have right now, that I have started, and I refuse to just quit on, right? I am going to show up every Sunday with an episode, regardless of how I'm feeling or what has happened to me during that week or what may have even happened during that day. I will consistently show up on Sundays with an episode because I owe it to myself. I owe it to myself to be consistent and to share any knowledge that I have that I'm applying to my own life to the masses, that in hopes that some of this that I'm trying to tackle in my own life can help some of you as well, right? So the first thing that I wanted to tap into are tough times. The tough time, I am now starting to have to learn to realize that tough times are temporary. But I shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going through a tough time, then I need to stand firm during that tough time and understand that the tough time might be temporary, but I don't need to be. The tough time that I may be going through, or that you may be going through, is an opportunity to learn and grow, right? Not a time for me to throw in a towel, jump ship, jump from a moving vehicle. It is a time for me to endure and to stand firm, because the tough times that we are experiencing, or that you and I may be going through, those tough times, girl, they are temporary. It doesn't last always, but we should. And most of the time, without even knowing it or even trying, we do. If you think back on any tough times that you've experienced in your life, during the moment, in the middle of it, you're like, I can't survive this. This is too much. This is too much for me. I can't do this. I can't live like this. I can't breathe, and then we get through it. And then you look back on your life and you're like, I don't know how I managed to get through that, but I did. And so I have to work very, very hard, harder than most people, I think, to stand firm during these tough times that I may be experiencing, and not waver, not falter. A key thing that I was thinking that might work for myself, that I will start to implement, is that when I'm going through a tough time, any negative thoughts that I might be having around or associated with that tough time, I'm going to write it down on a slip of paper, read it, soak it in, absorb it, let it sit with me for a moment, and understand that that negative feeling or thought that I am having, it obviously is valid because it's there and it's mine. But writing it down now places all of that energy into that piece of paper. Something magical happens when you put pen or pencil to paper, right? And all of that energy that I might be feeling, the negative thoughts, or whatever the situation is, I'm going to write it down. And withholding that slip of paper, that gives me the power to do what I want with it. Like I said, for me, I feel like I need to hold on to it just for a little bit, just to make sure that I recognize that what I'm feeling is real, what I'm thinking, whether it makes sense to anyone else or not, is valid for me because it's my thought. But then after a little bit of time go by, I'm going to rip it up and either burn it or throw it away. And let that energy leave with that slip of paper. Whether I've burnt it or threw it in the trash, I've discarded it somehow, and that energy and those negative thoughts or feelings are no longer going to sit with me. But I am not going to waver. I'm going to continue on that same path, on that same journey of becoming that higher version of myself, even during the tough times. Also, I realized that I am a visual learner, a visual person, so I need to have documentation of everything visually so that I can know where I'm going and what I'm doing, right? And so I feel like in the tough times, journaling, documenting, photographing my blessings means everything to me, because then I can go back and read or look at those and remind myself and remember that I'm good. I'm better than good. I'm great. And this, again, is only temporary. But I'm not. I'm going to stand the test of time. The second thing that I wanted to tap into is uncomfortableness. Girl, you have no idea how difficult it is for me to tolerate being uncomfortable. I can adapt to being uncomfortable, and a lot of times I feel like I thrive in uncomfortable situations, but I don't really know how to tolerate them. And a lot of that stems from me not wanting instant gratification, but somewhat instant. You know what I'm saying? Like, even down to this podcast. Starting this podcast was very uncomfortable for me. And like I said, by now, at episode where we are at 7 or 8, I would have already quit. It's really uncomfortable to be authentic and vulnerable and share it with someone, and then look and see that either no one has listened, no one cares, and you're still trying and you're still doing it, then you're delusional. And so I'm trying to break out of that, because it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable space for me to be vulnerable and not know whether it's reaching anyone or whether it's touching anyone. But what I can say is that I'm learning that, more importantly, this podcast has helped me. It has helped me to grow and learn and identify things in my life in certain areas that I want to improve upon. And so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to upload every single week, even though it's uncomfortable for me. Because it is. I am not comfortable at all sharing anything. My best day ones can tell you that I am very, very private, very, very closed off. So this is all new to me. And I promise you, every Sunday I start this podcast and I am completely out of my zone, out of character, uncomfortable, 1000%. I'm going to now realize that during the times of uncomfortableness, I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to breathe, right? We need to breathe. Take a deep breath, because sometimes it's not as deep as we're making it. So I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm also going to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. It's that countdown that I learned from Dobbins. I can't even remember her first name right now, but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once you get to that number 1, whatever it is that you were on target to do, you're going to do it, whether you feel uncomfortable or not. And I promise you, that's what this podcast does for me every single Sunday. I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, click record. It is what it is. I got to record it. And by the time the uncomfortableness catches up with me, hopefully the whole episode will be done and I will get it uploaded. And it's no going back after that. Once it's uploaded, it is what it is, right? And then considering my options, because it's like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable and I could not post on Sundays because it makes me uncomfortable. But is that the option? Like, what are my options? My options are, you either quit and then you'll never know where something would go. And that could be, again, a business, love, my marriage, right? I can quit right now because it feels uncomfortable and never see it through and never know where it could possibly had ended up. Or the other option is to stick with it and actually see what could come out of something, right? For the long haul, instead of dropping it every time I pick up a ball, I drop it and I keep it moving. Like, no. Have the tolerance to endure through the uncomfortableness. If you have a business idea, girl, share it. You're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird. You're going to have all of these negative thoughts of like, no one is going to pay attention to it. No one's going to purchase. No one's going to download your ebook. No one is going to listen to your podcast. No one wants to buy that, sis. What makes you think that you are going to get any sales? Your mind will run rampant and play these tricks on you. It's going to do it regardless. If you do nothing, your brain will still mess with your head. Oh, well, you didn't do that. Well, now you failed that. I knew you was going to be a failure for that one. Like, either way, you're doomed. So you might as well be uncomfortable, feel it, acknowledge it, and still get it done. Post it, Shopify it, put it on Instagram shop, put it on the TikTok shop, talk about it. Send text messages around. Text me with a link to your products. Spread the word, because that feeling of uncomfortableness or unsure of yourself, it is not going to go away. We're going to have to just endure it. We're going to have to increase our tolerance for feeling uncomfortable and still get it done. Do it uncomfortably. Uncomfortably continue on your path. And like I said, that could be anything. It could be taking on a new job. It could be starting your own business. Just remind yourself that whatever it is, again, that feeling is temporary. Or maybe not. Maybe that feeling of uncomfortableness is something that you will always battle and struggle with. But the difference is that we're not going to, again, jump ship. We are going to stand through it. They say when children go through certain things, because I was a social worker for quite some time, and I investigated cases of child abuse and neglect for the state of Pennsylvania and also for the state of Delaware. Sorry if you hear the dogs in the background. I think I gave a disclaimer that I'm in Portmore, Jamaica, and it's noisy here. So sorry if that's distracting you, but focus, okay, girl? Just try your best to focus. So I was investigating cases of child abuse and neglect, and the main thing that my supervisors instilled in me during that time is that children are resilient. They will get through this with the right counseling and the loving adoptive environment and that sort of thing, or the transition back to their birth parents. All of that, during that process, children are very resilient and they will be okay. I mean, sometimes maybe not, but 99.9% of the time, they are resilient enough to bounce back. And the same thing goes for us as adults. This feeling of uncomfortableness and the tough times that we are going through, we have to remind ourselves that we are resilient. Humans are resilient people, and we will get through this. One of the main things that I wanted to tap into with this topic is increasing our tolerance for boredom. Girl, do you know how hard it is now that I am doing my sobriety journey, because I don't go out to certain places anymore? My phone is literally dry. You know what I'm saying? Like barely any calls. Yes, my besties, I still have my day ones, but I mean, it's pretty much dry. And that's difficult for me to tolerate sometimes because I get bored. I get bored very easy. That's probably partly the reason why I start things and don't finish, because I'm just like, on to something better, on to something else. Like, no, girl, stick with one thing and get that done before moving on to the next. But anyway, being bored is just something that's so difficult for me to tolerate. So I'm making certain notes now about how to navigate boredom. First of all, I feel like we have to learn to enjoy ourselves. And that means implementing self-care days, self-activities, pampering ourselves, because that dryness, our phones being a little bit dry, no one's texting us, no one's saying, hey girl, let's go get a drink, let's go have bottomless mimosas. Like all of those things can really take a toll on us, especially if you're used to being a social being, right? I'm not too social, but it's just like my phone is just extra dry right now. And it's tough. It's tough to be bored. When I get bored, I start getting random thoughts that really don't make any sense. And it's like, next thing you know, I have like 16 new tattoos out of nowhere. And it's just like, girl, you got you got to get your boredom under control, right? Our social media may be a little dry, but all of these things are for a good reason, because it brings us back to self. We have to learn that not consuming the latest gossip, or the latest drama from family and friends, the things to just pass the time. We have to understand that all of those things are good things if they're not around right now, because it gives us more time to focus on ourselves, to try new activities, to try new recipes, to really get to know who we are, right? You can also start attending like local events. And these are things that you can do all by yourself. I like to use Eventbrite and this app called Fever. Fever is amazing. I can see ballet shows and, things that I'm really interested in. And I do them all alone. It's just me. Because like I said, that boredom, once it kicks in, is hard. It feels like the world around you is still moving and going, and everybody's grooving, and everybody's posting their Instagram trips and yachts and all these things. And it's just like, I'm home. Yeah, I'm home. But that's a good thing, because right now we're in a cocoon. We're in this nesting phase of becoming the higher versions of ourselves. And so we need that isolation to focus on us, right? I'm not saying don't ever consume. Sometimes you want to just do a little bit of scrolling. But if your phone is looking a little dry right now, learn to tolerate that. Learn to understand that it's for your higher good, that right now you keep your head down, and continue on your path, not looking backwards or to your left or to your right at what someone else is doing, but focused forward for your own goal of that goddess energy, that higher self of that you want to be. I say this all the time. I hope I'm making sense. But these are things that I'm tapping into. And just because you're bored with something, again, it reminds me of someone who wants to start a business. If you're bored with, maybe you've posted, you were uncomfortable to discuss your job or your business and get it started, but now that you've done it, where's the sales? Now you're bored because your phone is not blinking, or the emails of sales are not coming through like you wanted it to. That doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. That means you endure. You give it some time. You stay the course. You keep pushing your product, because someone will pick it up. You will find your tribe. But if you quit and jump ship before it could even get started, then you will never know. I'm learning to appreciate the silence. It's difficult to truly just be in peace and in such an isolation where all you can do is really focus on yourself. It's not easy to do. It's easier said than done. But constantly being bombarded with the consumption of the latest gossip and people's problems and families' money issues and that sort of thing honestly takes my focus off of what's important to me right now. And what's important to me right now is me. So yeah, right now we're going to be a little bored, sis. It's going to be a little lonely. We're going to be missing a few people, missing a few things, missing a few outings. But we're focused on ourselves right now. And once you're done with your cocoon phase and you come out of that on the other side and showing up in your goddess energy, ain't nobody going to be able to tell you nothing. They're not going to be able to tell you nothing. And the people who you are meant to attract will start to flock to you. Not to bring you down, but to match where you are and hopefully give you some tools and keys to exceed from where you are. The last thing that I want to talk about in terms of increasing our tolerance is frustration. Ooh, girl. That moving car that I jumped out of on Friday is because I was frustrated. I didn't want to have a conversation. It shouldn't be that deep if I just asked you to wake up so that we can watch Superman. I'm not sure why we are still discussing this when the movie has ended and we are trying to peacefully drive home. Like, I don't want to discuss it any further. I'm frustrated. I'm going to hop out of a moving car. No, we have to learn to tolerate the frustration as well. Recognize and accept and understand that your feelings of frustration, while they may be valid, doesn't mean that you need to jump ship all of the time. A lot of the times we're frustrated because we need to adjust our expectations. Oof. Adjust your expectations, sis. Like, I could be really, really frustrated with the podcast because every Sunday, even though I tell myself not to do this, I still do it anyway. I go and I look at the analytics and see that only one person listened to the episode. And I'm just like, ugh. But I have to remind myself that's not what I'm doing it for, right? I'm doing it to help myself, number one, and to spread anything that I learn to someone else to hopefully help them as well. And if I can only reach one person, then I can only reach one person right now. And that is okay. But what I am going to do is recognize that being frustrated because I'm not reaching the masses is just an expectation that I need to adjust. I need to understand that just reaching one person is a blessing. And it is, because prior to this podcast, I wasn't reaching anyone at all. I was depressed and sad and crying. You know what I'm saying? And so which version of that do I want? I would rather have the one listener. I would rather just upload and continue to upload, even if there is only one person listening. If you only get one sale, that does not mean your product is trash. No, adjust your expectations. Your one sale today could be 15 sales next week, to 100 sales next month, to 10,000 sales by next year. You know what I'm saying? To increasing the products that you have, to add new products, to now increase that and double that and triple that within the next 2-year time frame. So let's adjust our expectations. We can't expect everything to happen overnight. Things of substance and of quality, girl, that takes time. A good wine takes years. A good meal takes time to prep. A good marriage takes time to work on and sort out and seek counseling and guidance from our pastors, our family, our friends. Things take time. Anything of substance and quality really doesn't happen overnight. But never disregard how you're feeling. It is okay to feel frustrated. It is okay to not feel okay or to not be okay. But what I am trying to learn, and what I hope you will learn by listening to this, is that even still, we endure. We continue on our path. We continue on our journey of being the goddesses that we know that we are meant to be. We continue to move and press forward. We continue to stay the course. We don't quit. We're not quitting on ourselves. We don't jump ship. And we definitely don't jump from moving vehicles. I'm not going to hold up your Sunday too much. I just want you to know that even though it may seem tough right now for you, it may seem uncomfortable, it may be bored. You might be really, really bored. It could be frustration. Whatever it is that you're going through right now, sis, recognize it, understand it, but continue on. Because You are meant to be exactly who you know you are designed to be, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that goddess energy is for you. You are destined to have it. You are required to press on so that you can reach that destination. You are not quitting on yourselves. Neither am I. We are pressing forward, and we will get through the tough times and the uncomfortableness and the boredom and the frustrations. We can get through all of that together. You are not alone. I am actively going through it right now. And I'm learning day by day how to be a better version of me. So let's just increase our tolerance a little bit, sis. Let's just, understand that everything is not going to happen overnight. Let's just try our best to stay the course. And whatever it is that you are wanting to do, whatever has been called in your heart and in your mind to do, like I said, whether that is a business or starting a new job or a new relationship, whatever that looks like for you, do it. Just do it. Do it even though you're uncomfortable. Do it even though you're going through a hard time right now. Do it even if you're bored. Do it even if you're dealing with some frustration. Just do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. I promise you, most of these feelings that we have been discussing, they are not going to go anywhere, sis. They're not. They will sit right there. The key is to do it in spite of. I am so uncomfortable sharing. I'm a share though. I'm a share. And I'm going to be very transparent. Sometimes I may overshare just because I know how uncomfortable it is for me, but I'm going to still press through. I'm showing up for myself, and I'm showing up for you as well. So I hope this helps. I hope whatever you're going through, you stand tall and firm like a tree, okay? And reach out if you need me. Let me know. Let me know if you're listening. Let me know if this is helpful at all. Let me know if you have any pressing issues that you want me to discuss. I am here for you just as much as I'm here for myself. So I love you, girl. Get through this week, and we will catch up next Sunday. Okay, bye.